The Godfather. Does it really need an introduction? It's literally one of the most beloved movies in history. Whether you rewatch once a year, haven't seen any of the trilogy since the first time, or you've never actually seen any of the films, it's full of hidden gems and so much interesting stuff to learn, both in terms of what happened in front of the camera, as well as what happened behind the scenes. Not to mention its cultural legacy, how it basically created the new age gangster genre to allow for the making of absolute classics such as The Goodfellas. Here are glorious facts about The Godfather.
Father dies, make the deal.
It's easy for you to say he's not your father.
Wait a minute, it's easy for you to say it's not your father. It's easy for you to say it ain't your father. Fuck you and your asshole. Very nice, Jim.
Thank you.
The Godfather is a movie based on the infamous Corleone family. However, the movie was made by the actual Coppola family. Francis Ford Coppola had each of his parents, his sister, two of his sons, and his daughter appear in the trilogy.
Well, I remember one time we were in New York, Little Italy, and we were sitting in the back of the old St. Patrick's Cathedral in Little Italy where we were shooting some of the scenes. And he just happened to lean over to me, and I remember him saying, he says, you know, this is the church where we shot the baptism in part 1. And I looked around, I says, oh, wow. You know, and I got kind of a little chill. I thought, this is great. Oh, this is that same church. I didn't know that. And he says, yeah, I see up on the altar there, the baptismal font. He says, yeah, oh, that's fantastic. That's right. Oh, that's where you baptize the little baby. And he says, now you see my daughter, Sophia, over there standing next to the baptismal font, which she was, you know. So I look over at Sophia, who's about 19 years old now. Then as I'm looking at her, he says to me, she was the baby. And it was like, whoa, it gave me that little, you know, that made the hair stand up on my neck for a second.
Why not have my father get his break so he can write the music? And why not put my little baby in the baptism scene? At least I'll have always a memory of that. It'll be like a home movie. I'll always be able to see what my kids look like.
One of the most iconic scenes in movie history is when Luca Brasi pays his respects to Vito Corleone. However, this wasn't due to the acting, but rather its basis in reality. The scene in the movie is the first take that Coppola had done, and is in fact genuine. When Lenny Montana, the actor portraying Brasi, showed up to set, he was so nervous about acting alongside Marlon Brando that he actually messed up his lines. Coppola thought that this overwrought feel was perfect for conveying just who Don Corleone was.
Don Corleone, I'm going to leave you now because I know you are busy. Thank you.
The Godfather is a cinematic allegory for American capitalism, but this wasn't the original intention of the story. Actually, Francis Ford Coppola didn't want to take on the project of directing The Godfather at first, and only decided to do so once the idea of making it into an allegory came to him.
You know, I was hoping it was going to be some sort of intellectual film about power and succession. And in fact, it was more sort of pseudo-Hollywood Frank Sinatra stories, and the woman with the needed an operation of her private parts and stuff that I thought was sleazy.
Originally, he thought the story was a glorification of the Mafia, and it would be in poor taste to make a film which could cast Sicilians in a negative light. The Corleone's surname means Lionheart in Italian. In what is now a piece of Hollywood legend, when Marlon Brando won his Oscar for Best Actor for portraying Vito Corleone, he boycotted the ceremony in order to protest Hollywood's racist depiction of Native Americans. Al Pacino also boycotted the same Academy Awards ceremony, as he felt his nomination for Best Supporting Actor was disrespectful, considering that he had more screen time than Marlon Brando in the film. The Godfather was originally intended to be a low-budget gangster film with a contemporary story, and Mario Puzo wrote the script for it to be directed by Sergio Leone. However, Leone didn't want to glorify the Mafia, and after Francis Ford Coppola came in, he was against the idea and rejected the script, instead wanting to make a period piece. Coppola didn't love the script for what would become The Godfather at first. Puzo, who didn't actually speak Italian, had made up some slang for the script that was actually wrong. Though the usage of Don is now ubiquitous for a boss, it actually is closer to calling someone your uncle.
Godfather. Good.
James Caan killed it in the role of Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. We know it and he knows it, but producer Robert Evans seemingly did not, as he cut out over 45 minutes of footage of Khan, which limited the depth of his character. This led to a confrontation between the two men at the premiere, in which Khan exclaimed, "Hey, you cut my whole fucking part out. Can someone cut together the lost footage and make a Sunny-centric movie?"
A mile away, you gotta get up close like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. Come here. Mwah! You're taking this very personal. Tom?
There was a large in-studio fight for the casting of Michael Corleone, as various stars were considered, from Martin Sheen to Jack Nicholson.
Michael, why are all those people bothering your father on a day like this?
Well, that's because they know no Sicilian can refuse a request on his daughter's wedding day.
Oh, good.
I don't think you can name an actor that wasn't there. They were all sitting around on cement floors from 7 in the morning till 8 at night. Guys with, some guys talk like this, I mean, that guy's from all over the world.
They tried to kill him, my father.
But Coppola found most of the actors not to have what he was looking for. He eventually won the casting battle by getting his guy Al Pacino into the role, much to the chagrin of producer Robert Evans, who referred to Pacino as the midget. Al Pacino was only able to accept the role of Michael Corleone, however, after the Paramount pulled some strings and got him out of his role in the film The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. His role in the movie was then filled by Robert De Niro, who was originally cast as Paulie in The Godfather, but was allowed by Coppola to drop out in order to take Pacino's role in The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. This would work out in everyone's favor, as it then allowed De Niro to be cast as young Vito Corleone in The Godfather 2, De Niro's big break in film, and earned him his first Oscar. After Robert De Niro won the Academy Award for his performance in The Godfather 2, he and Brando became the first and only actors to ever win an Oscar for portraying the same character in two different films. The two films are also the only first two films of a trilogy to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. The frightened screams of actor John Marley in the horse head scene are not acting. They're real because the actor expected to be waking up next to a fake horse, not a bed full of real blood and guts. It was a real horse head.